How's Overwatch been treating you?
Um, Still fun. I'm
Good.
not too happy with the meta, but I mean it's somewhat bearable, I guess. Could be
Yeah,
worse.
yeah. Okay, makes sense. Makes sense. Um, how's practice been? What are we doing today? I mean, obviously, like it's been a long time, so like kind of reevaluating where your goals are and what we're doing here. You tell me.
Right. Um, I'd say more or less the same. Like I am on a team again.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Say like 3.6-ish, 3.7. Um, so that's really the only difference I would say. I mean, besides like maybe for better or worse, or probably for worse, like my schedule isn't as consistent anymore.
Yep.
So I'm not playing as consistently every day. It's like some days it's like 3, 4 hours, some days it's an hour, some days
Yeah.
it's not at all. So that's
Yeah.
probably not good.
Yeah.
Um, so I'm gonna try and fix that and work on that as
Okay.
best I
Okay.
can.
I mean, the thing is as long as your goals and playtime are mirrored, then we're good, right? Like, don't
Mm.
have unrealistic expectations. There's nothing inherently virtuous about playing Overwatch every day,
Mhm.
unless your goal is to reach, Grandmaster or whatever else, right? So,
Right.
now time in the forum, you were Masters for. Where are you now?
M3 just
M3.
dropped the
Nice.
M3 from M2. Uh,
Okay. Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. Now, what are goals for you? Why are you back? It's been a long time. Is it getting back in the team side of things that kind of like got you back in, or do you have some separate goals? How's practice been the last 13 months? I know you mentioned some school stuff had changed.
yeah. I'd say like the team part for sure, but it's also I'm starting to feel like I'm plateauing and
Yeah.
like mechanically for sure, but I'm not sure like game sense too if I am or not.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah. Okay.
um
Okay. Okay.
yeah.
Question. Is this just you plateauing from taking a break and then coming back again? And then you've kind of like, all right, I kind of had my initial like growth period. Like, I guess just it's been like what 15 months. So, give me
Yeah.
the short TLDR of like what your life has been in terms of training and goals, like the last 15 months.
So I've been still playing the game for sure. It's honestly the consistency shift probably happened the last like 3 months, I would say. So that like I've been playing consistently, I'd say at least the past year. And then recently is when it's starting to like drop a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But I've been trying to play more since I'm on the team again and all that stuff. So um I don't know. It's weird because partially like I just enjoy scrimming more than ranked. So that's why like I'll scrim and not play.
Sure.
Um, but uh, that's really it though, honestly. Like
Okay.
it,
Okay.
it's yeah,
Is it kind of knowing your break points and knowing that like, hey, I got to clean this up if I want to be taking myself more seriously, or what?
that yeah, I would
Okay.
I would say so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. So this whole team thing has been going relatively well then, and it's like, hey, I want this to happen. I want this to work better.
Yeah, no, it's definitely been fun. I just know I could probably be better for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why, but then also I'm just not sure if I'm like if I'm coping when I say I'm plateauing mechanically or if it really is like, maybe I'm starting to reach like my limit or whatever.
Well, everyone's got a limit in terms of the amount of time that you're able to devote full intention, right? Like I think like
Mhm.
that's my plateau right now. It's like even if I really wanted to, like realistically, I think like low GM is probably my peak, even if I really committed to it, just because the amount of hours that I have to put full mental focus in. Like I don't know that I have the hours to reach champion. You know what I'm saying? Even if I wanted to, right? But
Right.
it's not because there's something physiologically wrong with me. It's just my situation means that I have to work. I have to work full time, and I have to work with a lot of
Mhm.
like mental effort, right? So,
Absolutely.
and you might be in a similar situation, right? So, I think when you talk about like, I feel like I'm plateauing right now. What's probably happening is that there's definitely going to be some. There's always going to be. I could do more efficiently there. I could do more efficiently here. Like I would say, you haven't. There's probably things that you could be doing better, but it may also just be that your schedule right now, whether it's work or school or whatever else, is such that this is kind of like the reasonable peak. So like right now, looking at your form, you said at the time I'm playing around 3 hours every day, sometimes
Mhm.
four. Is that still the case? Like how many high intention hours do you think that you're reasonably going to be able to get on the daily?
I think I should be able to get at least two for sure.
Okay, at least two. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And is that consistent? Is that how much is that? 3?
That I think I should be able to get 2 like every day if I like
2
really
every
want
day.
to.
Okay. 2 every day. 2 so focused hours an hour. Is the energy of those hours going to be good? Or are you going to be tired?
If I take my ass to sleep at night, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Um, yeah, that's really what it comes down to. Like, cause like the days where I get like 5 or 6 hours and I play, I can definitely notice like
Oh, yeah.
a bit of a difference for sure,
Yeah.
as opposed to when I'm like fully rested.
Yeah.
So
It's also
that's
like a
that's really
cumulative thing too, right? Like, if you
mm,
have a week of 5 to 6 hours, that's gonna, you may like, there's days like where you'll have like a little bit of sleep and you'll still have like, okay, I can still manage on that day. But like over the course of weeks where you have more 5 to 6 hours, it's gonna affect your general performance, right?
yeah.
Okay. So it sounds like that's got to be a priority, but getting around 2 hours. And this is where like, okay, so you're Masters 4 now, like, or Masters 3 now. Like, I know a lot
Mm,
of like people that would kill for 2 hours and be able to reach Masters. So I actually think you're doing pretty well, all things considering.
okay.
Excuse me. But I would
Was that
say,
me?
yeah, I'm just bless him.
Bless you.
Yeah, my bad. But yeah, I would
You're good.
say that like reasonably, if you're already Masters 3, it's funny, I just released like a playtime chart yesterday,
Uh,
And on paper, reaching grandmasters would take more of a commitment, right?
right.
But
Oh
you've
yeah,
got a
for
lot of
sure. I
experience and you've
can
got
I
a
can
lot of
already
time.
tell.
Yeah, you got a lot of experience and you've got a lot of time. I would say after reviewing today, there's probably going to be some things that we can clean up about your play schedule and clean up about your understanding. And we could get you to GM. I think it's possible. Now you may
Mm,
not. You may put in the time and be like, this is just too much. Like, but I think Grandmaster low GM is probably reasonable. Like I've yet to meet a person who's doing everything right with their time. Essentially, right? There's
gotcha.
always
Okay.
something that you could be doing better. So if you're Masters 3 right now, a couple of tweaks here, Masters 2, Masters 1, it's reasonable. But I would say that like especially given like we're a little hesitant about your sleep, you're only able to consistently get 2 hours every day. That's not a problem, but it's not going to be GM3. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like
Okay.
it just isn't. If it is, like, congratulations, but don't put any expectations on that being reasonable whatsoever. You're still a great
Gotcha.
player, but I guess that's kind of where your mentality needs to shift away from I'm plateauing, because you just aren't able to put in the work to be able to break beyond that, right? So if anything, I think you should be pleased that you're maintaining Masters 3, Masters 2 with 2 hours a day. That shows like I said, I mean, you're just freaking good at the game, right? You've put in the work, and then apparently like things are just not like again. I know a lot of plat players that would kill for that level of play for just 2 hours a day, right?
Mm.
So okay, Tracer Echo will flex around. I guess this has changed as well. So what's that looking like now?
Yeah, so I've been playing a lot more Genji, I think, than Echo. So like in scrims I've been playing Echo, but in ranked I've been playing Genji.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Still playing Tracer. Kind of like at the start of the season it was like really bad though. I think I like dropped to like diamond something,
Yeah,
climb back up.
yeah.
Um, and since then, yeah, it's really been like Tracer, Genji,
Okay,
Soj,
okay.
Cat too. Yeah,
Okay.
for sure.
Okay. That seems fine. Tracer Genji cast. I mean, I would again caution you, and maybe that's something to keep an eye on. Is like how expansive your hero pool is with only 2 hours a day. How
Mhm.
often are you scrimmaging right now?
We try for like 3 days a week.
3 days a week, and it's
Yeah,
probably going to be more closer to 2.
yeah.
Yeah, and that's 4 hours of scrimmages a day. Does that replace your ranked?
Some days it does. That's why I was saying like I can get like at least 2 hours. Because some days I play more than 2 hours, but
Yeah,
like borderline, like baseline, worst case
2 hours.
scenario, I should be
Yeah,
able to get two
I
hours.
I get that 100%. Totally makes sense. Totally makes sense. Okay, so 2 hours, some scrims. I would if you can. I know that this is tricky, but like I would try to have your ranked pool be as close as possible to your scrim pool whenever
Mm,
possible.
okay. Fair enough.
And what you do is you train specific mechanical skills in ranked, like just getting comfort on the character, and then focus on your team play, your push pull, your communication, general macro stuff when you're scrimmaging. I think that's always a good approach. Now for you, you're like, well, I want to play Genji, but we play Echo and scrims. I think that's fine. I think that's fine. But like, just
Yeah.
keep that in the back of your mind. Like that would be optimal when you can.
Well, I might have like misspoke or like missed like
Sure.
worded that. So like we still play Genji and Scrims. It's just in ranked. I basically like don't play Echo.
I
I
see what you're
probably
saying. I
should.
see what you're saying. Yeah, I mean that's fine. That's fine. I would get a little bit of hours on Echo and ranked, just to develop your hero mastery of the character and just get a little bit more flexible. Like you're going to be playing into weird comps and weird maps and weird situations, but you need to get comfortable mechanically. I think like that, and that comes from usually ranked. So just food for thought. I don't think you're doing anything majorly wrong, but we're looking for like little crumbs here, little things that you can clean up with your play.
Right.
Now I will caution you, as always. You're not going for pro. So if you're like, I really don't have fun playing Echo in ranked, then don't play Echo in ranked at all. Right. So it just comes down to like what comp, how important is the rank versus how important is having fun. And I think like, you need to have fun. Like you just need to have fun. So one thing I will say is I assume you warm up on days where you just scrim.
Oh yeah, I try and warm up regardless.
Okay.
Sometimes it doesn't always work out. Get caught in traffic, all that fun stuff. So,
Yeah, I get you.
But I try to always warm up at least like 10, 15 before.
Okay. Let's look through some of your goals here. Again, just correct me with any of these that are wrong. Goals to become more consistent with staying level-headed when I 180. That would be more of like a flicking thing, I assume, with I guess like moving your crosshair, keeping it at head level. Fair?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
I end up looking up or down sometimes.
Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense. That's a Vaxa drill, right? And then go into ranked and drill kind of a thing, right? Like is this with Genji specifically?
No, it's actually with Tracer.
Tracer. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, that's definitely a Vaxa thing, right? You do that in 2 or 3 minutes at Vaxa, right? And then you go into ranked, and all you do is you practice whenever I'm dueling, 180 blinks, and focus on that. Like, you might screw up your positioning, but develop that skill. I think anything mechanical like that is something you can easily replicate because you could basically do that every single fight, practice my 180 because it's like, It is relevant, right? You're going to be blinking through people, especially if you force it a little bit, pretty much a couple times every single fight. So that's perfect, right? Long-term goals, top 50 on ladder, chance to play in WCS groups. Not likely. Not likely.
About that more.
Yeah. It's like the way to look at it is like this is going to sound rude, but it does take some of the pressure off of you. It's disrespectful to assume that you're going to be able to outplay people that put in twice the work that you do, right?
Okay.
Not that you're intending to be disrespectful, not that it actually is disrespectful, but it's like a good I'm not crazy moment for you to where you don't feel like there's something wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you. These guys are just literally putting in double your hours. That's it. Okay, let's keep going here. What do you feel is holding back from improving? Well, we know the biggest thing. We talked about it, right? In terms of what your goals are. But it's mostly a mixture of mechanics and mentality. Mechanics will come with playtime and good habits. We can talk about that like more in the review. But let's talk about mentality here. Obviously, if this is incorrect, just let me know. But there's games where I basically turn brain off and autopilot because I see both supports putting every resource into a Ramontrits holding block and a tank trait. Sometimes I ask my supports for more sustain on the angle, but I usually don't because when I do, they either don't understand what I mean. Maybe it's the way I articulate it, or they just flat out don't do it. So I'm like, why even waste my breath? This comes from being a higher rank on console. M1 tank GM3 and so on. But I feel like I'm be higher if my mechanics match my understanding. By no means do I think I know everything, but I think I have a pretty good understanding of each character. It's also an understanding of how the other roles should be playing when they area. Oh yeah, so yeah, I get you on that one where it's like you feel like people aren't doing what they ought to be doing, and it's a distraction to you. There's a level of expectation of like I know how this game works, or I know how your role works, and if you don't do things, it tilts you. I'm not immune from that. I have a game in my memory. I remember learning Venture on it was Route 66. It was back when Venture was first released, and I was playing Route 66, and we were in like a very low Masters lobby, Diamond 1 lobby, Masters 5, something like that. And I was pretty bad at Venture, but I was figuring it out, right? Well, we had a Kiriko that would literally sit behind tank and heal bot the entire game. Literally. And I think that they weren't a Kiriko player, right? I think that they weren't a Kiriko player, so they didn't really know how to play Kiriko, but they're just like... And I remember, like, I'm on a stream, and I'm, like, trying to be nice, but I'm like, dude, there's no way this person is Masters. Like, there's just no way. Like, this is legitimately not just, there's no way that you can climb to that rank with, but they're literally providing no value. Like, we're losing fight after fight after fight because we were on Genji Venture. We had no heal on the angle. This person was failing all the Kitsune rushes. They were literally providing no value and costing us fights. And I'm, like, losing my mind because this is all I can see, right? And we had a couple of funny clips, right? You know, and I'm kind of playing it up a little bit for stream, you know.
Oh yeah, of course.
I mean, we all have our toxic moments, right? But you know, it really, in hindsight, like I mean, even immediately after the game, I went and reviewed my footage, and I just wasn't really playing well. You know, I just really wasn't playing that well, you know. And it was because I knew what she was doing wrong. She's trolling the lobby, right? Trolling the lobby more than I was, but I missed an opportunity to practice, and I think that's kind of where you're at as well. Like, you've got the blessing of and the curse of knowledge, right? In theory, where you have these expectations and people don't live up to those expectations. So the key thing for you, I mean, to state the obvious, is to focus on yourself. And
Right.
because it's not that you shouldn't, it's not that it's such that you shouldn't have any brain waves left to focus on anybody but yourself.
Okay. I see. So it's like wasted mental.
It's wasted mentality. It's a distraction, right? Because even if they are the reason that you're losing, it's like you have to give, for you to practice effectively, you do have to give your full attention to other things. It's not even like a PMA thing. That's just a bonus side effect, right? It's the fact that you should be so obsessed with yourself that you don't have any brain waves to focus on anything else. That's what really fully intentional practice looks like, which is why we always put emphasis on things like sleep, because it does take a lot of energy to do that, you know.
Oh, yeah.
So we'll take a look, and we'll obviously look at, like, you know, tank sustain, how many resources can I pull? You know, it's not exactly the most fun expression of skill, but there is always more value that you can be doing, and you know that. So okay, let's I don't really have any other questions from your forum. Do you have any other questions?
Not at the moment. I don't think I do.
All right.
Definitely when we load into the map.
Let's do
Probably.
it. Let's do it.
Yeah. First one is good old Gibraltar.
Good old Gibraltar. Is this Genji Echo both?
No, this is actually like Tracer. Like
Tracer. That's right. Okay. I'm still going off of the other stuff. Okay, we'll get that in. Now, is Tracer just a new hero for you to try to pick up? Is it something you're doing in scrims?
No, I would say, because like when I first switched, I wasn't really too confident playing her. Like I was trying to just get used to keyboard and mouse first.
Yeah.
But no, I've been playing her because like I played her on console, and I've been playing her pretty much, say, for a better part of a year on PC now.
Gotcha.
So,
How's that transition go? Because obviously, like, that was kind of like at a point in time where I think I was working with you, but how did that whole transition off go?
yeah, it's definitely rough. Like
Yeah.
I would tell anyone, like, just give it time. Like anyone that's co-op, because it's not easy.
Yeah, it's not easy. Yeah, not easy. Okay. Well, good on you for making the transition, and hope it's going well. Okay, scrim time. Cringe comp from them. I don't know what they're doing. I like y'all's composition a lot. Looks really good. Really playing the map well. So Tracer, all about short off angles on this map. I think I had a session with Tracer on a map similar to this recently. Actually last night. And we talked about the reason that Tracer can function on Escort despite the verticality is that the verticality actually introduces, you ready for this one? This is going to be the most Spylo thing ever. 3-dimensional angles, okay? Where it's not just about, you know, going left or going right deep. It's actually being able to control space split vertically. And that's usually cart, right? Because it is a deep split, and that is something that you can contest, right? So that's where really Tracer is going to function here. So really, you don't need to worry about cart too much until it gets to here.
To a certain point, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So, and the reason why this is the case is because it's easy for your support. Like, your team has fully committed to the fight when the cart's here, right? So this is really your responsibility, and all you need to do is not lose this 1v1 and to take a more efficient resource trade, right? And I think that you're doing that up until you're not, right? So for you here, and this is where I want you to coach yourself, okay? So we'll focus on the macro side of things just to start, and then I'll be looking at the micro. What do you see? I want you to tell me to pause when you want me to pause. What do you see?
Pause.
Okay.
I think after I like forced that blink and got low, like she clipped me pretty good, I'll probably just leave.
Yeah, agreed. This is where I'm going to coach your micro, okay? So this is micro and macro. This is your mistake here. There's nothing about this Tracer that screams that you are at an advantage right now. You know that she has at least a blink or two. She's standing on Mega, and you haven't seen recall. Or you have seen recall, but she's standing on Mega, which is just as good as her recall, right? So I know you have recall advantage here, but you do not have an advantage in this duel.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying?
Because in my head, like at this point, I'm like, okay, I forced her to read. Like I know she doesn't
Right.
have it. I mean,
Right. So if you forced her recall, what does that mean for her in cart?
She's basically a sitting like she's either gonna go back to her team or she's gonna try and force it more.
Right.
At which point I should just
You
come
can
back
kill.
and then,
So this is the advantage that you have right now. The fact that she's not allowed to push cart. This is something you can apply to all maps. You force a recall. They're behind a corner on a mega. I don't recommend forcing that because now she has a massive defender's advantage. You understand what I'm saying? So the problem here is that you was like, oh, they don't have recall, therefore I automatically win the duel. No, it's not good enough. Now, if she'd had no blinks, maybe even if you'd had 3 blinks here or a harmony orb or something, right, or a pack, right? Sure, but this isn't enough of an advantage to force it here. Now, you could if you played this one perfectly, but you don't. You needed to, if you're going to force this, you needed to use your blink here to force her to take the mega now, and then probably blink through, continue your clip, and then recall out and then go from there. But so from both a forcing it standpoint, probably not the play, but then also here, you need to blink, right? Because you don't have the crosshair advantage. She knows where you're coming from. You don't know exactly where she is. You didn't even blink. So you're just basically trading on a corner, right? Where she has crosshair advantage. So yes, you're correct that you should have disengaged, but because you forced the advantage and then didn't use your blinks when you forced the advantage, you're going to die. Make sense?
Oh, yeah.
Misreading the situation, because you forcing recall there, you either need to play the duel perfectly to get the kill, which is possible, or you need to just abuse the fact that she doesn't have recall by just sitting on cart and being like, nah, you can't do anything, right? Right. All right, angle here's good. Dude, this gets me every time. I don't know if it's because the Venomine color is different with that skin or something, but every time.
I have no clue, but yeah,
it's recent, so I don't know. Maybe it's just you and I are just stupid, but like it catches me every time.
Probably.
Yeah, it can't possibly be that. This is fine. I would be very cautious about where your crosshair is going right now because you really don't want to lose the duel here, right? So I think scouting here is appropriate. I don't think you need to worry too much about the scouting. You need to make sure that you don't lose this duel here. You cannot let her in. You cannot let her in because now the tables have turned, right? You are the defender's advantage, kind of, sort of. So you need to abuse that, right? So you're fine here, but like really, really don't let. I mean, I would not be running from this. I'm curious why. Is it because you want to mark Echo? What's the strat here? Talk me through it.
I'm thinking I was probably just scared of the poke, like getting shot from Echo and Tracer.
So what's the solution? What's the solution?
I don't know why I went all the way back to my team, but I just
that's it, right? Brilliant, right? And see, this is the thing: is this is really hard for Tracer to force the advantage in here because she's going to have to use one blink to close the distance, and you're going to have a slight crosshair advantage. That's enough to completely remove her from the duel. Now, the problem is, like, can the Tracer just avoid this angle entirely? She sure can. She can go underneath, but then if she avoids the angle entirely, then what can you do from here?
I can deepen. You
can deepen, right? And you have a significant position advantage from that. So she actually really needs to mark you here. But the problem is that you have the advantage of the marking. So, yeah, don't just hold the angle. Play the angle differently if it's a 2v1, but don't give up the angle here. You have you have triple blink, and see now the problem is now you've not only given up the angle, but you've allowed her to push in, and then also gotten distracted on something else where you're not really doing a lot of damage. And so now who has the advantage now, right?
They do for sure.
They do, right? So now you're going to get poked out. You're going to lose the angle entirely, and look at where my Tracer's positioned. I mean, this is cheeks, right? Like this is where you're going to die to a pulse bomb here. Your team is going to die to a pulse bomb. I'm calling it. There it is. Right? How did I know that? It's not even like, well, it's just because the space you right, you had your angle, right? So you had your angle, you got cleared out of your angle, but they didn't earn that. You know what I'm saying? They didn't earn that. She didn't get double packed. She didn't get Echo or Winston jumping you. You just walked away, right? You walked away and you give the angle, right?
For no reason.
Right. It's not that you, again, I want to be clear, the takeaway here is not that you have to mark Tracer. It's you just have to be on an angle, right? If you had, for whatever reason, decided that this is the play here, feels a bit isolated, but okay, fine. Sure. Sure. If you, for whatever reason, if you're an, I don't know, gold Tracer player and you're not like high-level macro and you're just kind of lurking on backline, harassing, I mean, okay, sure. I mean, there's some value here. Cut off some Winston heals, put pressure on backline. You're a little isolated, but sure. The problem is that you weren't on any angle. And I think that was because, like you said, you were worried about the poke, and it almost feels like a little bit of like Gen Z brain rot, right? Which we're all guilty of, where it's like, I gotta be doing some damage. I gotta be shooting, right? No, this is everything dies unless you worry about this. This is your job, right? If this is not a threat, then don't shoot the Winston deep in the angle, go for backline that we talked about, right? So it's like kind of like I have to be doing damage, gotta be shooting stuff, but in reality you're just getting hurted. Yeah. Now I'm glad to see you back here, right? This is good. We get the Tracer out, deepen from here to the left, please. Or cheat and get the kill. Like I think it's just reasonable. The reason I want to deepen left is why?
They have to turn.
Right, you deepen the angle, and it also means that you don't get sandwiched, right? So you see you get sandwiched here, right? And and what happens when you get sandwiched? You get shot, you get slapped, right? You get slapped, right? So you can do the exact same play here because you're like, oh, Tracer's got recall, I gotta go kill her. That's okay sometimes, right? If you're sure you can get the kill. But you can also use the fact that Tracer doesn't have recall by taking the flank of the Ana because she's not going to stop you anymore. Tracer's not going to stop you anymore. And in fact, the Ana is going to be worried about keeping the Tracer up, not about keeping herself alive, right? So you can again, it kind of goes back to that very first fight where like, oh, Tracer and recall, I have to kill her. No. I mean, yeah, sometimes sure, but you can abuse that advantage elsewhere. So I'm shocked.
A small thing, but I think that fight probably, well, I don't know if it turns out differently, but I think we get a pick there probably if I go around.
Oh, yeah, I agree. I 100% think you get a pick, and I think that's not a small thing either. I think that is going to be the difference between you walking out of the choke next fight and not. Because I think now, I don't think you guys can safely recontest this. I think you probably will try, but I think it's going to be.
We do try.
I think it's going to be really ugly, right? This is a good setup from you. Good rotation. Good. Okay, remember, maybe I lied. They just didn't push cards, but also good setup from you, mate. That's huge. And so now, if you'd like to, you could push the advantage on Tracer. You kind of get what I'm saying? You've taken the angle. You force the recall. Who else is on this angle right now?
Winston and, well, Widow, kind of.
Kind of? Not yeah. Well, okay, sorry. Who else on the enemy team, I'm sorry, is on this angle? Like, who else can you shoot here besides Tracer?
Oh, no, I don't really have anyone.
Not really anybody, right? So that's when you can force the advantage. Does she have defender's advantage? Not really. She's in the open. You're in the open. Force it. You're allowed to force it now. Now, if there'd been an Ana right here, or like an Echo right here, just keep the angle, keep shooting, right? But right now, go get her. Get her.
Fortunate.
Now, I mean... It's okay. Like, it's okay. Like, to be honest with you, this is just as simple as your Ana didn't get nano off, and they blew 1-2 ultimates. That's it. And they had defender's advantage of their backline. I think you played this fight reasonably well. You started on an angle. You forced resources from the Tracer. We're going to stagger a wee little bit. And then you deepen your angle. I think it's okay. I think it's okay. You need to be careful here. This is a very high-risk play, but I respect it. Good. Yeah, this is fine. You took an angle. There's nobody on that angle, so you deepen all the way to backline. GG's. You got smoked. You got smoked. That's okay. I mean, this is still a good fundamental fight from you, which is what we're looking for here. So take the angle, deepen the angle, and then now, again, there's nobody here, so just keep pressure, right? I would go as far here to say that this is unnecessary. I don't think this is bad, because you're choosing to play this angle, but you were already here. Might as well just keep pressure here.
Okay. Because
the analogy here is that you were here, you don't need to worry about here, right? Or if you're here, you don't need to worry about here. Kind of makes sense, right? So with your here, your value is such that you're in a good position to follow up off of any dives onto Winston, and you're in a great position to mark cart, right? Totally fine.
I got you. Okay.
Totally fine. Now, the question is it more important to block Tracer or mark cart, shoot backline? The answer is it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's up to you. Now, if you looked at this and you're like, I know she has pulse bomb, I need to mark her, that's fine. But I'd argue that that's probably not a good enough argument simply because look at where your backline is and look at where she is.
Yeah, she has to go really far to get to
You guys go really far, right? You also have pulse bomb, which is a bias towards backline for you selfishly, right?
Yeah.
The biggest problem with this, though, is not that you chose the wrong angle. The problem is that you chose an angle that second-guessed yourself. And the reason why this is bad is because you don't enter this fight at an advantage because you have to use a blink to go in. And again, you're walking through chokes. You kind of see what I'm saying? So if you've been
Cross is
here
already-
with 3 blinks and then blinked through and kind of threw her off, totally different story. Totally different story. I'm okay with that then. You didn't take this duel well, and you used blinks to get to here. Heck, in the crossing, you could have gotten poked by On and Echo as well, right?
Yeah.
So it's just a matter of convenience and then execution on that position as well. And I really want to talk about a micro here, because it's not just about, I had to use blinks to cross. You've got to respect tracer clips. I know you're thinking, it's 1-for-1. It's just a mechanics diff. That's true. But that's like saying it's an Ana versus an Ana 1v1. I'm not going to play cover because it's just a fair fight. You know what I'm saying? You should both be playing cover. If she doesn't use blinks, then she's an idiot. If you don't use blinks, you're an idiot. You're the one losing, so you're the extra idiot here. But if you blink here and you force a blink in response, fine. If she doesn't blink, she dies, right? So it's like a 1-for-1, but like, come on, one of you guys has to be smart enough to use blinks here, right? You guys need to stop fishing for the 1 clips, right?
Yeah, no,
Blink,
we
and then
don't
then the 1 clip gets easier, right? Because obviously, I think what this is maybe you're not as confident you're with your 180 reacquisitions.
Definitely not. Yeah, no, that's like actually the main, like you could probably look at that too on like a different map, just like towards the end, like one fight. But that's something that kind of calls for me like map.
Yeah.
Like
All
not
right.
being confident in that.
100%. So just force yourself to do it, right? Force yourself to do it because it's just going to make you live longer, really. From here, just rotate left. Probably it's the only angle that you can take. Now, you can deepen right, especially because you're already here. It's just pretty naked. So if you want to mark tracer here, sure. Okay, go for it. If you want to rotate left here, sure, go for it. I just don't want to see you going right to left or left to right. Okay, we're going top. Works for me. Do not chase that tracer. I would say in terms of fine-tuning this angle, what small adjustments could you make to improve the quality of this angle? Specifically the range.
I think realistically, I just have to play bottom left instead of top left.
I agree. Why? Why is that such an important adjustment?
Because I mean, well, like you said, like I'm just closer.
That's
sure.
it.
But then
That's
also,
it.
That's it. Okay.
That's mostly it. But well, we might have another detail. Go ahead. What do you got?
I mean, it's a slight split for me and my Winston. Like we're not coming from the exact same spot.
Yeah, that's also a little detail in there. Yeah, no, 100%. Yeah, but the big one is just the range, right? Like whenever you're evaluating an angle, it should be more like, hey, there's nobody here and everything just feels too far away. So like if you're here, you're going to end up marking Brigitte. If she's not here, then you're going to end up marking Cart. You're going to end up shooting Winston from a better angle, right? Like this is just a better position for you. Now, I really like that you're not chasing Tracer here. I know it feels bad. I know the reason you're not chasing Tracer is because of Pulse Bomb, but I'm going to pretend it's because of your macro. Because here's what's going to happen. You're like, but they're just pushing Cart for free. You guys should easily be able to shoot off Tracer for free. If their backline refuses to go forward because they're scared of you guys, then you're essentially isolating this Tracer to where not only can she get a recall forward, she should also die, right?
Yeah,
they have to walk forward. They have to walk forward, in which case, well, then now you just take the fight, right? So, yeah, this is fine. I mean, this is sick, dude. What the frick?
It was all right.
A little slow in that second blink, but in other words, like you almost got slept. So like right here, this needs to be a half clip, frankly, right? Because you know she's gonna 180 turn bash, right? So you need to half clip this, not 32 bullet clip or full clip, right? That's a bit risky. And then the weird thing is then you blink, but then at this point, she's already kind of used sleep and bash. So if anything, like this is less important. So it's kind of important to front load a bit of your movement, just a bit, right? That's why like those mid clip pauses are really important. So if I'm playing, coaching you on this here, it's shoot a bit, just like, so don't even blink here. Drop shoot to bait a response. You get me? So drop shoot like 10, 15 bullets, then mid clip blink through, shoot. If she still hasn't used a CD, then start your reload, like either finish your clip and start your reload or blink your second blink through again. Okay. Reload. She turns again, blink through, finish your clip, and then a recall, right? So it's like those mid-clip pauses, right? And I know that's a lot to think about, but this is why you practice in ranked. This is what you need to go in with the intention of, I'm going to do half a clip, and then I'm going to blink. You actually don't even react. That's the crazy thing. I want you to predict.
Okay.
That's not how pro players a lot of them do react. But that's only within an unbelievable amount of time to practice. Basically, okay, so this is the way to think about it. Treat it like a punching combo. You're not really reacting to their head movement at all. It's just a combo that you've memorized, which is shoot, half clip, blink, finish clip, blink, shoot, blink again, finish clip, right? Like that's an example of a combo that you can use versus any character that has burst damage or CC, right? You get really good at that. You get so good at it that you're actually able to comfortably adapt on the fly. But right now, you're so inexperienced with this level of tracer micro that you're not going to be able to react. So just force it.
Got you. Okay.
It's totally fine to do that. I mean, that's dirty. Good stuff. And so your team is able to hand the 3v2, right? You guys have defender's advantage up top. They're okay. They use primal. Doesn't matter. You're okay. Yep, just keep shooting. Sure, keep shooting. Yep, again, just using the angle that you have, right?
Yep.
This is totally fine.
Got nothing better, so.
Yeah, this is fine. And then you leave because, okay, she's dead. I can go back now. Nice. Yeah, good stuff, mate. Like these fights have been, I think, primarily what the map has given you is why you're making the choices that you're making. But I want to commend you for this is good. You know, you should feel good. You're making the right choice. Keep shooting. Yeah, keep shooting. Shoot. I wouldn't even walk in bubble, frankly. Just keep shooting bubble. It's fine. Gotcha. It's not a bad decision, but it's fine.
Figure it's a little bit more on post. I mean.
Yeah. For me, it's just how much damage you're going to take versus how much damage you're going to do, right? Because like you got to think about his HP is less valuable than yours because proportionate's like so much smaller.
Yeah.
Like you taking 50 damage is a big deal. This is good. Yeah, good. So this is the difference, right? So this is the difference, okay? So do you remember the last time you were shooting Winston and you got dropped? Do you remember?
It was no.
It was here.
It was on the
Remember? And then you got jumped on the angle, right? Not now. You're paying attention. You're shooting on the angle, and you're like, oh, somebody's trying to clear me out. I'm ready for y'all. Come on. This, you're cooking here. You're cooking. Now, you're going to have to run, right? Yeah, but, this is value. This is really good. So it feels messy, and we can maybe coach the micro of how you ran. So, for example, here, when you see this, maybe more of a map situational thing, quickly blink up top or quickly blink out. So you kind of hover here and shoot. I don't want you to do that. I want you to full commit, right? So that way you can lurk a little bit better with pulse bomb. That being said, you did live. They crossed your team's face, and you took a lot of resources. In fact, that's the only reason that this nano comes in safely is you, right? Now, this is where I need you to use the angle you've been given and do something with it. You're still here. Do something from here. Do it, right? You might need to wait for that second blink or that third blink or wait for that recall, but don't go back. You're here. Do stuff here.
I went back again.
Yeah. Because this echo damage completely pointless. This is where like you have the space. Use what the space gives you, right? Whether that's shooting Winston here, that's probably a little too far, or something going for backline, right? With or without pulse bomb, this is the play. Now, ironically here, this might be when a pulse bomb is inappropriate, just because of how far they are. I don't hate this, and it's a disgusting stick, right? But I also wouldn't have hated you to sit here and shoot on cart as well, just because that was what was on your angle. What I didn't like was shooting the echo that was too far away. That's all.
Yeah, she's like over 20 meters.
Yeah. All that being said, though, we can draw a line on the map from the space that you've controlled, which is here all the way to here. You did not ping pong back and forth like you've done before, and you also didn't get caught by people pushing on the angle. You were prepared for it, so this has been by far your cleanest point, like by far. You've played this one pretty well. You got jumped. That's okay. She was low. I get the distraction, but yeah, this has been much better. Yeah, get her. Why? Because she's here. This is your angle.
Yeah.
This is your job. Yeah, then she's out. Get fricked. And then now you deepen, you go for backline. Yeah. Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff.
You would say, like, too, like, this is probably common sense. I don't know. But when, like, Ana and Brig are, like, right next to each other holding hands, you go for Brig first, right?
Yeah, usually. Like when there's a bubble in play, the answer is usually Brig, because essentially right? Like you can't, the Brig can triple pack the Ana and nade pack as well, right? Whereas the Ana has a harder time healing Brig when there's a bubble involved. When there's not a bubble involved, bit trickier. Because the Ana is in theory the easier target to kill, because if the Ana full pockets Brig full pockets Ana. It's just when the bubble comes into play, the bubble kind of shuts down the healing significantly, so then it makes it a lot more reasonable.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I think that's more of a micro thing. You kind of use your judgment. I would say the biggest thing is just to stay locked on the target that you choose, unless the other target's one. So don't ping pong. If you're on the Brig, stay on the Brig, and only swap off of the Brig if the Ana gets low, or vice versa.
All right, so even like if like let's say just like in that example, like my Winston I think was shooting Ana, like I shouldn't switch.
Well, let's see if you made the right decision. You're staying on Brig. Yeah, this is fine. Keep shooting. You pivot to Ana because she's just on your screen and both are full HP. You stay on Ana. The Ana goes far away, and so you start to shoot Brig, but then you go, oh, frick. Ana's low and isolated. I'm going to chase. Totally fine. Totally fine. Yeah, totally fine.
All right.
Now, you could have stayed on Brig there, too. The Ana dies either way. But, I mean, if you see an opportunity to secure the kill, yeah, go for it. I wouldn't overthink it too much. And I love this from you too. You're, I could chase this Winston, but like, why not just hold the Brigitte out of this fight, right? Like, my team's got it. Just hold the angle. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is good. This is, and see there, and there it is. The Winston dies. The Brig has 2 packs that she's unable to use because of what you're doing. Do you see what I'm saying? And you at 0 point risked your life.
No, I just stood there.
And you held the angle, right? So when she did get to cart, she's got a tracer in her back, right? Even the tracer trying to cross to point had to worry about you. This is good. This is such a solid point from you, honestly. Like this is such good fundamental Overwatch. We talked a little bit about the micro, but this is like so good, so good. Now it's a simpler map, a lot less movement involved compared to like what first and second are. But you did good. Any questions?
No, I think I have more questions for your own attack, and it's actually pertaining to like cart and like.
Yep. Okay. Push. Okay. I mean, I like what I see so far. So just shoot what you can. Don't get dropped. Right. That's a big thing. Don't get dropped.
I thought she was bottom. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's fine. It wasn't a bad decision. You just got juked. That's all. I wouldn't even bother. Just don't take damage. Yep. Just chill. And then when the cart gets to about here, you're kind of in like last fight territory essentially, and then you can start to comfortably leave cart and apply pressure. But I think this is totally fine so far.
Gotcha.
Yep. And now this is the tricky part. She has pocket advantage. You have cart advantage, if that makes sense. Yeah. So you have advantage of the mega, but also advantage of the passive heal. So the best thing that you can do here is I want you to win this duel so badly that she demands 2 packs. That's kind of the way you got to look about it, right? So that's going to mean a lot of cover usage. That could mean also little things like you peek, start to shoot, and duck behind cart to force most of her clip, and then peek out and finish your clip. Do you kind of see what I'm saying? Like you basically bait her to start shooting her clip, and then she's caught in a reload animation, and so you get an extra 25 damage. That's literally like little things like that you have to abuse, okay? Little things like that. Now, kill feed, nothing you can do about that. Nothing you can do about that. That's just kind of the nature of this map, and you can't worry too much about it.
Okay.
And I really don't... Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, like, there's going to be some times on second point where, like, I basically don't know if I should be pushing cart. Because basically, like, the tracer wasn't there, so I was like, okay, I'm just going to go cart. But because of that, my team gets jumped on. So, I don't know.
Okay, so this is the way that you got to think about it, right? So you're pulling attention in 3-dimensional space down, right? And you're doing a team of service by pushing cart. Okay. Do you have the setup options on this map to provide as much value as their tracer on attack?
On attack, no.
Okay. So then it is a better trade for you to force cart and pull the tracer out of her angle to go to cart.
Okay.
So you're basically you're taking a big chunk out of their defender's advantage by touching cart.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Okay. You have to trust yourself on this one. You have to trust the process. It's the same thing as marking somebody that has a pulse bomb when you don't have pulse bomb. You kind of get what I'm saying? It's the same thing. I know you're more of a threat than I am, so I'm going to take you down with me. That's just smart strategy, right? So you're here, and Reality is that you should just be on card. Yeah, like you could be in card even sooner, right? Because now they're like, oh, crud. First off, your team isn't really forcing anything. You notice that? Like your team isn't really forcing a fight. They're just taking a passive Widow angle, contesting top occasionally. It's really hard for the Ana Brig to force this, right? Like it's really hard, right? Good teams they'll recognize that, okay, well, we can't really force. I mean, this is just a stupid dive from them. Like, look how far they have to go, right?
That's so far. Yeah.
If they do that, then they're going to lose. If they don't do that, what's going to happen? They're going to put a lot of attention on you, and that's when you're going to have to abandon cart like here and have to like look for dives and stuff because they're just going to put like a bunch of resources into you and dare your backline to walk forward. But like right here, if they don't do that, I mean, just win the game.
Yeah.
This is just we're just going to win the game. Zero complaints. Nice job. Yeah, it's that simple. So just be ready for better teams to try to mark you heavier on cart around that point, and that's when you might have to abandon and push top.
Got you.
But yeah, there's no problems here. And the same thing here. Like, just keep pushing cart. Keep pushing cart. You don't even have pulse bomb, right? So just keep walking cart. Keep shooting. Because you're winning the fight. You're winning the fight. We're going to get to a point here where this is going to be one fight till you win the point. Because they're just not putting any pressure on you at all.
No.
Yeah, get a little chip damage here and there. I would just focus on shooting what's closer to you. I mean, this is insane. Yeah, just die. Yeah, good stuff. I mean, this is good. This is good. You have full confidence in yourself that this is the proper play. Because you are now in one fight territory to cap the point.
I get,
and you've done nothing, right? So yeah, this is good.
I think the example I was thinking of is this fight here. Because I had I guess maybe I should have worded the question better. Because I had an opportunity to clear Tracer before I went to cart, but.
So is this right before this here?
No. It's after this.
Okay. Well, we'll get to that when we get to that. So we'll see. Gotcha. So you're coming back, and you're asking, should I clear Tracer before going to cart?
Was it this? It might have been actually another fight.
So the answer here is no. Why? Let's see if you get this one right. Think about the entire review leading up to this point. You take an angle. You commit to the angle.
I went bottom already, yeah.
You went bottom, so you don't go across. That's it. If you commit here, you cannot clear this Tracer. Why?
Because I'm going to get shot by...
You're going to get shot, and it's going to cost you 2 or 3 blinks. Yeah. Right, so you're automatically losing this duel. If you had predicted the Tracer would be here and had rolled out here, this would have been a probably successful clear.
Okay, so that's really what it boils down to. Is
so
I just didn't go there to start.
Correct. That's exactly it. So if you really want to clear Tracer here, which by the way it seems totally fine before going to cart, I think that might even be optimal, right? Because I don't think it compromises your ability to go cart. Then that needs to be part of your rollout. Like you might roll out here, blink here, force a blink in here with on and a Brig Pocket or a pack and try to clear out here. It's okay with me. Or you could maybe force out left here. It's fine with me. But you're not, so don't. And this is the correct play.
Right, because they just get smoked now.
You did your job. You pinged, which gave the information, and then you apply pressure on cart. And they just use 2 ults. Now, here's what you can do. You're so deep here. When you see this in the kill feed right there, leave.
Yeah.
Go sit in their backline. Sit in their backline. Yep. But I want to point out, despite instantly dying, you have now... Like, this is actually best case scenario for losing a fight if you're going to lose a fight, because now they got to worry about C9. So now you're on their backline, and you can... This is where Ana Brigitas are not allowed to play this position anymore. They actually end up having to rotate back here. And what does that mean for your team in the next fight?
They get to walk top.
They get to walk top for free. Right. Exactly. Walk top for free. And now, Nano, Primal, Sights... You're just going to win the fight. Like it's just such a difficult fight for them to win now. On paper, right? But like you basically, the way to think about it is like you've increased your chances of winning next fight by literally 50%. Literally 50%. So we go from 30-70 to now all of a sudden we're like, actually it's 50-50 or maybe even a slight advantage for us, right? Just based off of positioning alone, right? But yeah, so I think dying here is like the second best thing you could have done. Best thing would have been to live in their backline because of how close you were. Again, you roll out right, we go right. That's fine. Good, just go. And see, this is when things get really sucky for them. You see it?
Yeah.
I know that you got to pick here, but in theory, they still have map control, right? They still have primals. They have Brigitte. Look at this. It's over. It's over for them. You just need to live, and yeah, this is over. I don't think this is bad. I'm just surprised you didn't get pocket. I don't know where your supports are. Oh, primal. Gotcha.
Primal.
Yeah, that's okay. You guys should still win this. Yeah, you guys are fine. Okay. Right. Okay. Okay, your team is trolling this. This is mechanics.
It did turn into a dogfight.
Hit the pulse on Winston, game over. Ah, hit the pulse on Winston. No need to get silly with it, right? Winston, no bubble. Winston, no primal. Pulse the Winston, mate. Pulse the Winston. This guy's this yeah, right. Just right. It's just a question of like the kill's a kill, right? Kill's a kill. That's all you need here. That goes for any tank who doesn't have a lot of mitigation at that point in time. Just pulse the Winston. It was close, but yeah. Just keep shooting. I think you're also forcing maybe specific targets too much here too. Like right here, just shoot Winston. Why? Because he's lower. That's it. If you guys focus this guy down, he's dead. I think this is just where like I don't hate the support like when in doubt, but like I think the Winston's gonna be easier to kill here. And I also think your brick dropping was suicide. So this is partly, yeah, you needed to hit the pulse. That's the biggest thing from your end. But also like your team as a whole is just completely trolled it, like completely trolled it. So the good news is that thanks to your work, you're still operating at a map control advantage despite being an attack here. So this is just a question of timing. You need to be really careful here. Yeah, I mean, go card here. You have 3 blings. I mean, this is scary for you, so keep your eyes on the tracer. But yeah, this is it. She thought she was him.
I tried to clip me.
So let's talk about the micro here. Again, full attention needs to be on the tracer duel here if you can. This is where, again, you're just refusing to use your blinks. So you're kind of always operating at least at a disadvantage, or at least at an equal advantage, right? She gets a pack, you get out. You need to full get out here. Yeah, I mean, this fight's just lost. This is also where you can force top too. So think about it this way, okay? So we'll go one more little concept here with escort, okay? You can force card here if you'd like to, but if you know they've already respected your card push, do you see it?
What do you mean, like
where's that tracer? Yeah, where's that tracer?
Yeah.
So then what can you abuse about that?
I won't get marked.
You won't get marked, so you can go top.
Right.
Or, you ready for this one? Don't play for cart. Play for winning the duel. Where's her attention right now? Where does her attention have to stay?
Pretty much on cart for the most
right,
part.
It has to be this way. You know what she's not looking at?
Behind her.
Right.
Yeah. It's like the same thing with the... Yeah.
Right. So your threat here, you basically, it's like, because I can hold this C9 over your head, I can do whatever I want, right? So I actually think I'm wrong here. I think going to card here is the misplay. I think for you, the proper play would have been to wrap and play the duel from here. That way, it's like any advantage that you can get, essentially. Because that way you don't sandwich yourself. That way you're able to just play for the duel alone. I still want to say that, like, for the most part, I'm kind of picking out little details for you, right? Things that you can think about, right? But I'm like, this is a bit of scrimmage elo hell. Like, your team is completely trolled last fight. You guys have had consistent map control and haven't done anything with it. So, my point being is I'm not throwing blame here to make your teammates feel bad. I'm saying that, like, for the most part, you are doing the correct thing. Keep it going. This is fine.
Right, so
just do it. Right. Don't second guess yourself. Correct. Just do it better. Right. Do it better. We can clean up the little details here. Yeah, this is fine. And this is fine. Why? Because you're here. You're right. So you deepen. Right. And in addition to that, card is just not worth really pushing right now. You're in one fight to win the fight now. So good. If you need an extra blink for this so that you can rotate where?
Through them.
Yes, through them. Get to here. Okay. Then pop up top and go from there. So not just target, but position. This is a bit spooky, because you don't have resources to effectively duel here.
No.
Make sense? Does that make sense? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
This is... I was saying no, like, I don't have resources.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So this is okay, and then what you do from here is important. Now, you have two options. One was the rotation through to here, to this position. The other, actually you have three options. The other is just to keep shooting, to be honest with you. Just keep shooting, holding the angle, right? What's your third option?
So you said the first one was to deepen. Second one is to just shoot.
Well, really the first one is to actually do what I said not usually to do, which is to ping pong, right? To flip to the other side. Make sense? The reason it's okay here is because you are going to cover, right? So it's okay, fine. So 1, 2, but one of them should be to deepen. Where would you deepen?
Bottom right.
Yeah, you got it. Just drop to here. Blink to here. Play out cart. Pull the tracer this way. Pull the Winston this way. Right? That's what we want, right? So you actually can deepen. The problem is that the way that you deepen and then the resources that you use before you deepen, right? Yeah.
I try to do both.
Yeah.
And it costs.
And so now you're probably gonna die.
Should be.
Yeah, you're gonna die. Yeah. All right, one more fight here. Yeah, good. Yeah, it's fine. I mean, there's not a whole lot more you could do. Wait, you guys win this? Of course you guys win this. The fight that you shouldn't win. I see how it is. I mean, to be fair, you do have Primal, which helps a great deal. Nice. Just keep shooting. Keep shooting. I wouldn't bother following up off of that. I know your team's screaming on, but just shoot what's close, right?
Yeah.
Punish the Ana attention being elsewhere, essentially, right? This is fine.
Right.
Okay, so you guys, like, finally toggle. I get it.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see if we can... I want to see if we can finish this map here, if possible.
Gotcha. Shouldn't be too much longer, because...
Yeah. There's only like 2 more fights. It's fine. Little tickle, little ping. I love what you're doing with pings here. It's really good. Yep. Take the duel.
I really wanted to clear that guy first.
Yeah. I mean, it's fine that you just can't. You're not in a position to clear him, right? You don't have the resources for it. You'd have to blink into the open and put yourself at a disadvantage. The consistent theme I'm seeing with you, though, is just you really need to look at your tracer duels. You really need to look at your blink usage and your clip management and tracer duels. Like, I look at this and I'm like, I don't expect you to win this duel, but I do expect you to take at least a favorable resource trade, and she's just consistently out blinking you. And it's meaning that, like, okay, yeah, this fight's lost no matter what you do, but it's just another, like, red flag that you're not consistently able to take favorable trades on tracer duels. And a lot of it is how you're using cover, baiting clips, how you're using your blinks, your movement, stuff like that. That needs to be cleaner here. Like, if I want this to be a lost fight where you enter, like, where you right now, she's getting her recall forced, or she's at 70, 60 HP, and you're 120, 130, not 86. You get what I'm saying? Like, I want her to be packed or shot by Ana. I don't want this whole, like, we can completely ignore. Like, see, this is the something you need to be capitalizing off of, right? This needs to be a recall right now from her, not you. Right? And if you're not better, well, then that's what has to be. Like, this tracer is consistently beating you in the 1v1s just through the source of resource trades. And most of it is due to how you're moving and how you're using your clip.
Gotcha.
It's not really mechanics. Like, you guys are kind of trading one clips on each other occasionally, but, like, it's a mismanagement of your movement. Now, this is tricky. I think this is probably, again, fine. I think forcing card here, really good. You can clear her if you want to, because she is so very close, but you're going to have to play smart because she has defender's advantage, right? So your choice here. I don't hate this. Now that she's gone, you got to make an important decision. And I think going back to cart is totally fine. I know this feels so cancer, but there's really not a lot you can do here, especially with pulse. You could have pulsed the echo there, sure, but there's not a lot you can do here. The good news is that as this fight evolves, this is a fight. This is where you can carry.
Did not carry.
That's okay. That's okay. I think this is the strategy was fine. Like, this is where Tracer just... It's just a little boring, right? Like, it just is. But the thing is, the mechanics are still extremely important. You just need to be thinking about it as, like, I'm going to take less damage than your Tracer and Force card. So, okay. Let's take some notes here. Tracer. What do you got?
I think big thing, definitely try not to do, like, multiple things at once. Like, take a decision and stick to it.
Yeah, don't do mid-map rotates. Deepen or shallow. I think it's more about your rotations in that. It's not so much about doing different jobs because you might rapidly change your jobs, but it's still going to be on the same lane, if that makes sense. So when you commit to a rotation, you commit to a rollout, then deepen or shallow depending on what's available to you. Don't put yourself at a resource disadvantage by trying to move around the map crazy, if that makes sense.
Got you. Okay.
Okay. Keep going.
Then I would say it's kind of just gonna come with practice, right? But like I realize when I have an actual advantage as opposed to thinking I have an advantage,
Don't
and then
force
forcing something because I think I have an advantage and I really don't.
advantages.
It's hard to put that into words, but
I'm gonna be honest with you. I saw that only a couple of times. I would rather you do a better job creating your own advantages with how you're moving.
Okay.
If I can be honest, I would rather, like, I think that we definitely looked at like the first fight where you like lost the tracer duel, but also like it wasn't stupid for you to push the tracer in that room, right? It was like, I get it, right? The problem was is that you just didn't blink, like you just didn't blink. That's pretty much all there is to it. So like it was probably optimal for you not to push the tracer in Mega, right? But if you're going to, please use your blinks appropriately.
Okay.
All right, so
she's already there, holding it, like looking at that space. So it's like
blink
I need
planning,
to juke her.
180s and duels, and then clip management with this. I think that if you want to work on your mechanics, that's how you work on your mechanics. You can really deliberate specifically exactly what you're training with your mechanics, and you can force it, right? You can misposition all you like. Screw up your timing. I don't give a rick. Just make it pretty. Make it pretty. I mean, those are fun games, in my opinion, where you don't have to worry about all the boring fundamentals and just be like, I'm going to clean up these 180s, make it clean, like crosshair placement.
Yeah,
I'm going to outbrain their tracer, shoot a couple bullets stuck behind cover. She shoots half her clip. I blink out. And so now she's got caught in the reload. And like you could do all sorts of brain games to this, right? So like that's really where the sauce comes out. And that applies to not just tracer duels, right? Like anything, right? To peek out a little bit on the cast, make him start to shoot, duck behind cover. He starts the reload. You blink out. He panic hinders. You blink that. You know what I'm saying? Like there's, like you got it. That's what Tracer does. That's what Tracer does. And so if you're not doing that, you're not playing Tracer. Okay. Any questions?
No, I think that pretty much covered everything. So like the whole thing where I was thinking like, did I have clear or not? Like, I guess it was fine because I didn't go out that way, but it was probably better if I.
Yeah, probably better, right? Exactly, and that's a decision you'd be making between fights, essentially. Like, what is it better for me to be clearing the angle or playing for my own immediate value, like just setting up on card or whatever? But the point being is that it's not necessary for you to make the perfect read every time. You just need to get the most value out of whatever you have done. You invest time in this, make it work.
I actually did just think of one question, like
go for it.
Off of that, in that same vein, like, would you say in general just try and clear angles whenever you can, or is it does it matter like what your backline is, or like
okay, so the rule is clear angles whenever you can if the angle is clearable for you. So sometimes it's about looking at the map and being like, this is a short sight line, so I can clear it, right? But you might go, I don't like that part of the map. I can't help that. Like, for example, Gibraltar. Clearing second point on retake was easy. Why? Think about where that tracer was set up.
Because she was basically in our spawn. Like,
right.
Super close.
And also think about the space that she's positioned in. Small corridors, staircases, you can cook in there, right? But if you're talking about, like, let's say there's a hit scan on first point defense Gibraltar, you're not clearing that.
Nah,
probably You're not clearing that, right? That space is super unfriendly. So for you, if you want to know, can I clear this angle or not, what is the angle's geometry look like? What does the angle's space look like? Congested? Lots of tight corners? Yeah, you got it. You can do that. Open space? Not your job.
So then would you say like it doesn't matter if we're on like in theory squishier backline than they are? Like,
nope, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter because even if you're on a squishier backline, if it's a location that you're not very good at clearing, then you're not going to be successful at it.
Okay.
You're not going to be successful at it. So I do see what you're saying with that, like where it's like we have squishier backline, so we should play to mark. That's that's something you can consider. But the more important thing is for you to go, is that space that I can clear? And if the answer is no, then it doesn't matter if you're playing on a Zen and they're on Moria Lucio.
Okay. Okay. For sure. Okay.
Great question, actually. Great question.
Cool. Yeah, because that's something that I've been thinking about for a while. So yeah.
Yep.
That's
Yep.
definitely helpful.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. Any other questions?
No, I think that's